Oh, you're here early. Well, we'll just get right to it. I'll be telling you about my country, the United Kingdom, which we call the UK, and it's located on the continent of Europe. Of course, there's so much history in the United Kingdom that shapes the country, but the timeline I'll be taking you down starts in 1659 and ends in 1997. So starting with Oliver Cromwell, he was an English military and a political leader. He led a Commonwealth, which is a democratic republic, and this democratic republic was very big for my country. When Cromwell passed in 1658, his son Richard Cromwell tried to take over, but his attempt failed because he lacked the loyalty and the power that my country looked for. Because he had no power base in the parliament, he was forced to resign in 1659, which ended the protectorate. Right after this event, Charles II returned as King of England, and this is what ended the Commonwealth movement. Now we're getting a little bit older. In 1707, the Union with England Act occurred. This act was passed by the Parliament of Scotland. This led to creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain on May 1st, 1707. This was known as the most successful acts of union in history. About a year later, on March 25th, 1807, Great Britain abolished slavery and banned the Slave Trade Act. Although slavery was illegal on British colonies, trafficking between the Caribbean islands continued up until 1811. In 1914 to 1918, Britain participated in the big event we know as World War I, and in the Second World War from 1939 to 1945. And lastly, in 1997, the election of New Labour won a landslide victory after 18 years of conservative government. This won a total of 418 seats in the House of Commons and allowed Britain to begin creating more national traits. This event helped shape history and identity for Great Britain. As many people used to say, long live Britain. And here is a timeline I've put here for you. A super significant time for my country also occurred in 1997. Britain handed Hong Kong back to the Republic of China after 150 years of ruling, and celebrated by lowering the flag of union over the government house. Also important, on February 6, 1952, Elizabeth was crowned at age 27 as Queen of England, and she still reigns today. Now here's a fun fact for you. British culture actually takes a big part in rock and roll music that you listen to today. One of the most iconic bands for rock and roll, known as the Beatles, actually originated from Britain. Contributions of art, cinema, television has also made a big impact today. Like your favorite actor, James Bond is actually from the UK. England's topography does not have many elevations, so it's mostly like flat land across, which makes it easier to work when it comes to textile production. It's majority flat, except for in the east, which has many mountains and not as much flat land as in other places. The highest point of the UK is located in the North UK, Scotland, which is at 4,406 feet high and is known as the beautiful mountain Ben Nevis. It's a wonderful place to visit and hike if you're an outdoors person. The British culture is traditionally a Christian religious culture, yet the culture is combined for all parts of Europe, including Wales and Scotland. Now, religion in the UK is really diverse and free. It mostly contains Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism, or no religion, and more. Many British people don't identify with having a religion, but Christianity is still the most practiced till this day. The United Kingdom is a parliamentary democracy that is under a constitutional monarchy. The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, makes decisions over the government and how everything runs. He does this while Queen Elizabeth II, the one I mentioned earlier, is the head of the state and makes decisions for the state and how it runs. Now, for the question that everybody's asking, what's the food like? Well, the British do take their breakfast quite seriously. In the UK, we usually have really big breakfast. It contains of a sunny side up egg, bacon, sausage, baked beans, tomatoes, toast, and mushrooms. This meal is very popular and you usually find it at most restaurants, especially breakfast places, and I definitely recommend. I've had it before. It's quite delicious. Now, a favorite lunch or dinner, however you like it, which is well known, that originated from the UK, is fish and chips. Chips in the UK are actually what Americans call French fries. This is a hot served meal that contains fresh fish in batter and chips, which sounds simple but it's delicious. Last but not least for food, tea. Well, it's a drink, but you know what I mean. Tea is known as an elegant, luxurious thing in England. It's part of the British culture which started the history when the first tea bush was grown. Tea is usually sided with a sandwich, crumpets, cake, or biscuits. Although you might want to be careful with how you refer to tea, because if you say tea time, then people will think you're talking about dinner at like 8 a.m. Now we're going to move into some quite different activities that I recommend you try when coming to the UK. A very different celebration that's very popular in British culture is called the English cheese roll. It's exactly what it sounds like. You roll a big block of cheese down the hill and chase it. This event is located in the Cooper's Hill in Gloucester. You have a 9-pound ball of Gloucester cheese and you just roll it down the hill and everybody chases it. It's a bunch of fun. This usually occurs on the annual spring bank holiday. Another fun, beautiful event I recommend you join in is quite a tongue puller. Excuse me if I say it weird. Summer solstice at Stonehenge. This occurs every June 20th and it starts with a bunch of people that just join together at Stonehenge to celebrate the beauty of the sun rising. People usually bring snacks, hot chocolate, and have a picnic while watching the sunrise around 4:50 a.m. But trust me, it's worth the time. Just get your sleep during the day. Coming back down to the more economic facts, the UK holds a big portion of gas that has big companies around the world, which are known as BP and Shell. There are many natural resources the UK also have, such as clay, tin, limestone, iron ore, and more. As of 2020, the UK's nominal GDP is at 2.638 trillion. When you come to the UK, you'll want to know how to spend your money, right? So the UK uses pound sterling, which is 39 cents less than the UK dollar, meaning that 1 pound sterling equals $1.39. The UK has many socio-economic factors such as education, income, occupation, and more. Majority of people in the UK are high class, but of course there are some people that are still in high, middle, or low class, depending on your job, how much money you make, and what family you come from. Being in low class means, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to afford as many luxuries as high class would. This seems to run through the globe. Some low class people, they're everywhere, but it's okay because you can always change that. Here is a physical map of the UK. The thin lines represents the rivers, the brown area represents mountains and hills, and the green is flat land. The very popular mountain, Ben Nevis, is labeled here. As you see, when I zoom in, there are cities also labeled. Last but not least, you'll need some tourist spots, right? Here's a tourist map that I found for you with some great key places that you can visit. There are places I recommend visiting, such as Manchester, Gaslow, which is in Scotland, UK, and Edinburgh Castle. All of these places are really beautiful, and I do recommend checking it out. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of your lesson. I hope you enjoyed that, and I really do hope you're inspired to come visit the UK sometime. It's really beautiful, and we're nice people. We'll welcome you right in like you're a part of our family. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day, mate.